All right, let's just dive right in. For years, we've all been playing the SEO game with a pretty familiar set of rules. But, AI is basically ripping up that rulebook. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the AI SEO Visibility Framework. Think of it as the new playbook for how brands can actually win in this crazy new era of search.
So let me just start with a pretty blunt question. Is your SEO strategy obsolete? I mean, really think about it. If it's still all about just chasing keyword rankings and building backlinks, then the answer is probably a hard yes. The ground is literally shifting under our feet, and the tactics that got us here just aren't going to get us where we need to go. And this visual just nails the change perfectly. Old search, right? It gave us a list of 10 blue links. It was basically a menu of potential answers. But new search, the search powered by AI, it wants to give you a single direct answer right there at the top. The goal is no longer to just be on the menu. The goal is to be the meal. So how in the world do you adapt to that? Well, the solution is a whole new way of thinking about search visibility. It's called the AI SEO Visibility Framework, and it's designed to do one thing: make your brand the source that AI trusts and chooses to feature. Here's a quick look at how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about the new rules of the game. Then we'll get into how to build your content foundation so AI can even understand you. After that, it's all about expanding your influence. And finally, how to own your channels and measure what actually matters now. So let's get into it. First up, the new rules of search. And let's be really clear, this isn't about making a few small tweaks here and there. This is a whole new game. We're moving from a simple game of keywords to a much, much more complex game that's all about authority and giving direct answers. The whole framework really sits on these three core strategies, and they all build on each other. First, you have to build a trustworthy foundation, so AI systems even know who you are and what you're an expert in. Then you expand your influence way beyond your own website to become the go-to source wherever people are asking questions. And finally, you have to own your audience and learn to measure what truly matters, which protects you from whatever crazy algorithm changes come next.
So let's start with that foundation. Before you can even dream of being the answer, you have to make sure AI can understand who you are and what you're an expert on. This part is all about making your content both authoritative and super easy for a machine to read.
The very first pillar is something called entity authority. Just think of an entity as Google's internal file on your brand, all the facts it knows to be true about you. To build this up, you have to be just relentless with consistency everywhere online. That means defining the exact topics you own with content clusters and backing up your claims with original, real research. Okay, next up, your content structure itself needs a serious upgrade. You have to start thinking less about long flowing paragraphs and more about scannable, digestible little blocks of information. Why? Well, because large language models are trained on huge amounts of data from forums and Q&A sites. So formats like lists and question-based headings are basically their native language. What's really amazing here is how simple this change looks, but the impact is just profound. On the left, you've got this wall of text that's hard for anyone, a person or a machine, to pull a single fact from. But on the right, it's the same information, just structured as a clear question and a clear answer. That is exactly what AI is looking for. But look, even the best content in the world is totally useless if the machines can't find it and understand it. That's where the technical foundation comes in. Seriously, you could have the best stuff ever, but if AI crawlers run into any friction, your content might as well be invisible. This means cleaning up your robots.txt file, using structured data to basically label your content for them, and making sure your site is fast. You have to roll out the red carpet for these AI bots. Okay, so you've got your solid foundation in place. Now it's time to expand your influence. The goal here totally shifts. It's no longer just about being understood by AI, it's about being cited by AI. This is about becoming the source that an AI trusts enough to actually put your name next to its answer. And this brings us to pillar 2, citation readiness. This is a total game changer. It means you're creating content with the specific, intentional goal of being quoted by an AI. You're not just writing for a reader anymore, you are writing to be a source. And here is a beautifully simple, totally actionable rule of thumb: high fact density. The idea is to aim for a clear data point, a statistic, or a hard fact every 150 to 200 words. This just screams to an AI that your content is well-researched, authoritative, and absolutely citable. So how do you actually do it? Well, you put the answer right at the top. You include quotes from real experts. You cite your own sources clearly. And you use simple, direct language, no ambiguity. You make it effortless for an AI to just lift your sentence and present it as a fact. And remember, this influence can't just live on your website. You need to be visible everywhere AI is looking. That means proving your experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, what Google calls EEAT. It also means showing up in forums like Reddit, where these AI models learn. And for local businesses, it means you have to absolutely dominate your Google business profile. This leads us right into our final strategic block: owning your ecosystem and measuring your success. Look, in a world where search traffic can be super volatile, this is all about building resilience and actually proving the value of all your hard work. So the crucial point here is control. As AI takes over more and more of the search results page, you just can't be 100% reliant on Google for your audience. Building a strong email list or an active community, that gives you a direct line to your customers that no algorithm can ever take away. And finally, you have to completely change how you measure success. Forget just tracking rankings. The new KPIs are all about AI visibility. You should be asking, how often is our brand actually cited? What's our share of voice inside these AI answers? People are even tracking new metrics like cost per trusted touchpoint. The focus shifts from your position to your presence. So let's bring this all together. The new competitive advantage in search has just fundamentally changed. The goal is no longer to just rank #1 for some keyword. The goal is to be the answer. This one sentence just says it all, doesn't it? The entire discipline is evolving. If your KPI reports are still just focused on your position in a list of blue links, you're measuring the past, not the future. And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. The brands that are going to win in 2026 and beyond are the ones that master AI visibility. It's all about being the trusted, authoritative source that AI systems turn to when a user has a question. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. Following this framework is about so much more than just SEO. It's about preparing your brand for the entire future of how information is discovered. So the real question is your brand ready to be seen?